Welcome again to another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. This is episode 28 and today's date is September 16th, 2017. Thank you so much, Solid Day Assassin, also known as Troy West here. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support y'all been giving me the last few weeks. I really highly appreciate it. Thanks for been watching the Wednesday sports blogs, of course, who's been based around the Thursday night football game. Thanks for all the support with the retro series with Mega Man and all the other projects. I really appreciate that. On today's blog, of course, we'll cover a lot of stuff today. Update the baseball season so far, the pennant races and wild card chases and everything. I'm gonna touch on that. Indians as well, of course. Get a little NBA in this week. It's about a month away from the regular season, so I'm gonna start putting together lists every week. This week I counted down my top 5 point guards in the NBA, so I share that and talk a little NBA. And of course, week 2 of the NFL season kicks off tomorrow. Well, really kicked off Thursday, but you know, Sunday is a lot of games tomorrow. I cover all the biggest games of the weekend. I give you all my picks for every game as I pick and pick them. Of course, like I said, y'all still can play if you're interested in that. Just look back at the previous episode, particularly the NFL preview episode. All the information is there if you want to play in the description below the video. And also a big fight tonight, Triple G against Canelo. Big fight in the boxing world, so I touch on that a little bit. And of course, college football today and other days going on. But of course, I always start the show with baseball. The Cleveland Indians been on fire. Won 22 straight. They did lose last night, so that streak did end last night as they lost 4-3 to the Kansas City Royals. But 22 straight games in baseball is a monumental feat. Indians definitely took stranglehold on the American League, as they now the top team by record in the American League now. They look like a World Series team. Like I said, I always pat myself on the back when I talk about the Indians, because I picked them to get back to the World Series this season, and I have no reason to be worried about that. 22 straight games. A lot of people was poo-pooing it a little bit because they played the White Sox and a lot of lower tier teams, but still winning 22 games in a row. It's hard to just get a weekend sweep, so the win 22 straight was monumental. They look sharp. A lot of people think they might win it all this year. I picked the Dodgers to win it. You know, the Dodgers been struggling a little bit. They're starting to play a little bit better now. They was in an 11-game losing streak, but I'm not going to change it. I'm a little bit stubborn when I come to my picks until the team gets eliminated, so I'm still going to go with the Dodgers, but the Indians look very, very strong right now. Of course, in the American League, of course, the division is pretty much wrapped up. Cleveland going to pretty much win the Central. They pulled away from everybody in that division. The East, Boston still got the Yankees to contend with, but nobody else really close. In the West, Houston, it's just a matter of time before they clinch. So the division winners is pretty much set. I don't think the Yankees will catch Boston, but it's not a foregone conclusion yet that they want to win the division. But I don't think the Yankees will catch Boston. A little bit too inconsistent still. But they pretty much got a strong hold on that first wild card spot. The second spot still open. The Twins pulled away a little bit from the other teams. Still the Baltimore Orioles, Tampa Bay Rays still got a shot. A couple of other teams in the West, the Angels. I think the Mariners still alive. So the wild card still sort of open, but I think the Yankees and the Twins are starting to separate themselves, in my opinion. I think the Twins now have like a 2-game lead for the final spot, and the Yankees is like, I think about 3 or 4 games away from the Twins. So we'll see. Still like a couple of weeks to go, so we'll see in the American League. In the National League, of course, you still got the Dodgers, you know, still cruising in the West. The Arizona Diamondbacks pretty much got a stranglehold on that top wild card spot. Colorado still has the second, but they got some competition now in the Central. Cubs, like they pulling away a little bit from the Brewers, with the Brewers right there for a wild card spot. So is the St. Louis Cardinals. That's pretty much it as far as the wild card. In the East, Washington already clinched, first team to clinch their division. Miami was there when Carlos Stanton was hot. They fell off. And Pittsburgh was in it for a while, but they had fallen off as well. I think they're too far behind. So either only two teams that got a chance for a wild card spot now is Milwaukee and St. Louis, and Colorado has that second spot. I think Arizona has pulled away. I think they'll definitely make the playoffs. But like I said, lots of baseball to play. I think it's about 3 weeks left in the season, so probably roughly about at least 20 games left for every team. So we'll see how things unfold. I will do a special blog on the baseball playoffs right before they start, right before the wild card games start. I'm gonna probably do a special on that. So again, congratulations to the Indians. They lost last night, but 22 straight games. It's a monumental feat. Let's go and move on to talk about the NBA now. Of course, the season starts, I think, October 17th, so a little early this season. They want to try to limit the back-to-backs, give players more rest, because that's been sort of an issue. Players taking games off and stuff on the road or bigly televised games. So they try to eliminate that and give them more days off during the season. So it's about 2 weeks early than normal. Usually be around Halloween. But I think every week until then I'm going to put up with a list. This week I put together a list of top NBA point guards. I got a top 5 list. Well, at number 5, I got Kyrie Irving. Of course, you know he got traded to the Boston Celtics. I think he's probably out of these point guards I got on my list, probably the most dynamic point guard that can score, especially around the basket. And of course, his jump shot is good as well. Still not a prototypical point guard. I think him going to Boston, it's interesting. I think he got a chip on his shoulder. A lot of people don't think he could carry a team. But I think he's definitely top 5. He's done too much in crucial moments. Clutch. He's very clutch, hitting jump shots at the end. So I got him at number 5. Number 4, I got John Wall, the Washington Wizards. I think he's to me, he's sort of like today's point guard. He's probably one of the ones I would want. So I like a point guard that not could just score, but can pretty much run the offense. The point guards are starting to, like prototypical point guards, well, old school point guards I should say, is starting to dial, just like the big man backing down, back to the basket is starting to die, or it did, you know. But John Wall, he's good, running the team, running the offense. He can score. Jump shot got to get a little bit better. He's a good defender. I really like his game. He's fast with the ball. Like, he's probably the fastest in the league with the ball in his hand. And he can finish around the basket as well. I got him at number 4. Number 3, I got Chris Paul. Speaking of the point guard I was just talking about, Chris Paul is still that prototypical point guard, probably the best floor general point guard in the league. So he'll always be my top 5 until he retires. I like point guards like this. And he can score the basketball. Him going to Houston, see how him and James Harden play together. That's going to be interesting. But I think Chris Paul is one of the ones. I don't think he cared about scoring. I think he had to score in the LA Clippers because they really didn't have nobody that could really get their own shot. So down the stretch of games, I think that was part of their demise. There was too much pressure on him. He got to run the offense and be the closer to close out games. But he'll always be in my top 5 probably to retire because he's still one of the guys left that can still run the offense, sort of old school. Lonzo Ball, sort of supposed to be that guy. Yeah, rookie, but supposed to be that point guard. That's, you know, basically pass first point guard. But we'll see. But I like Chris Paul. He's number 3. Number 2, Russell Westbrook, probably most athletic point guard. But he's still kind of like a 2 guard, in my opinion. He can score the basketball, but he can pass the ball. He's not just, you know, a lot of people think he a ball hog. I don't think so. Look what he did last year, averaged a triple-double. So he passes the ball. But he's just athletic, dynamic. Can jump out the gym. Jump shot got a lot better over the years. Just won MVP, of course, last year. Tenacity, probably best in the league. He just want to win. He's very competitive, and I like guys like that when it comes to any sport. So he's my number 2 point guard. And number 1, I had to put Steph number 1. Of course, you know about his 3-point shooting, but he can handle the basketball. I mean, I still say he's a point guard. He can pass the ball. He get his teammates involved as well. But it's 2-time MVP. Just won another championship. But he can definitely shoot the 3. But the weird thing is, I'm giving it to him mainly over his accomplishments. But if I had to pick one of these people that I want the most, I probably would want Chris Paul, John Wall, probably over Curry. This if I would need a point guard. Like I said, I really like old school point guards that be able to pass the ball. But I gotta give him number 1 because coming off the championship, and his 3-point shooting is pretty much out of this world. I mean, pretty much changed the game. You know, now the game is based around 3-point shooting, so I got him number 1. Warriors probably be a big favorite again going into the season. Western Conference is stacked even more than ever now that a lot of players have moved to the Western Conference. So they's going to be very interested this year in the NBA. Still got a month to go. So recap, my top 5 is Kyrie Irving, John Wall at number 4, number 3 Chris Paul, number 2 Russell Westbrook, and I got Steph Curry, number 1. My top 5 point guards in the NBA. Alright, so I'm going to move on to the NFL. Week 2 kicked off on Thursday night. Houston Texans and the Cincinnati Bengals. Houston wound up winning the game 13-9. Deshaun Watson on his birthday got the start. They looked out of this world, you know, as far as passing the football, but of course you see this athletic prowess. He ran the 49-yard touchdown on a broken play. Pretty much was the difference of the game. Of course, I had to score 20-16, Houston, but I had the margin of victory right, 4 points, 13-9. So I always get part of my scores. I always get them partly right, but not quite right. That's why I don't really like predictive scores. But Cincinnati got a lot of issues. Then they go to Green Bay next week, week 3. So it's not gonna get better for the Bengals. They fired their offensive coordinator yesterday. So maybe for the first time, Marvin Lewis probably really is on the hot seat. Of course, the stat everybody always throw out there, the 0-2 teams that don't make the playoffs, and only 3 0-2 teams ever won the Super Bowl. So pretty much when you go 0-2, pretty much to say your season's over. But it depends on what happens this week with other teams. You know, I still want to say this season's over, but it don't look good for the Bengals. They ain't going to Green Bay last week, and I probably picked Green Bay to win that game. So, offense look bad. I think they need to just run the football. That's my opinion. They still trying to throw the ball. Eddie Dalton don't look sharp right now, but their running backs are dynamic. I give it to Mixon, Jeremy Hill, and Bernard. I just run the ball as much as I can. And probably play action to AJ Green. That's all I probably would do. It sounds simple, but that offense gotta get back to simplified things. But Houston, they look. You know, I didn't think they was gonna go into. I picked them to win the AFC South, so I knew they was gonna try to bounce back. The defense still looks strong. Like I said, Thursday night games though just sort of hit and miss. Like this game wasn't 100% exciting, but it's still football, and that's pretty much what the NFL rely on. You're gonna watch anyway. But like I said, I played in fantasy. I played DeAndre Hopkins. He gave me something. He gave me 7 points. So, but I don't usually like to play players on Thursday night because the games always be low scoring, be 1 or 2 plays here and there, and that's it. So. But the Texans, they moved to 1-1. Of course, the Bengals fall to 0-2. I'm not sure who Houston play next week. If I could check it right now while we're looking on my phone, who Houston plays next week. I know Cincinnati play Green Bay. Let's see. Houston plays New England, so that was a big win. They got to go up to New England. Patriots play New Orleans this week as they trying to avoid an 0-2 hole. Alright, but let's get to the rest of the games this week. Of course, I wrote some games down that I'm going to really get deep into, but other games I'm just going to tell you who I think is going to win and move on. Buffalo at Carolina, Bills and Panthers. We got Carolina winning this game. I think the defense is going to rise up, probably force some turnovers on Tyrod Taylor. And I think the Panthers offense is going to click a little bit better now. Cam Newton starting to get more reps and more playing time. I think Panthers win that game. Bears and Buccaneers in Tampa. Of course, this is the Buccaneers' first game of the year due to the hurricane. They come back home and play the Bears. Just think the crowd going to be right. I said this about Houston too last week, but I think the Buccaneers is the better team anyway. Mike Lennon might want to prove something. You know, they let him go to Chicago, so he might have some motivation for that game. But I think the Buccaneers will take care of the Bears at home. Browns and Ravens. I got the Ravens winning this game. Way the defense looked last week. Now they're going up against a rookie quarterback, Deshaun Kaiser. I like him, but I think he's going to turn the ball over. Ravens offense, like I said, I'm still a little bit worried about the offense, but I think they're going to do just enough. I don't think it's going to be a shutout. I don't think they're going to shut the Browns. I think they probably get a field goal or so. But I think the Ravens going to dominate on defense and pretty much shut down the Browns. Titans and Jaguars. Jags, of course, was real surprising last week with their defense, especially. But like I said, this team is talented on both sides of the ball, the defensive and the offensive side. Titans, I don't want to say it's a must-win for them, but I picked them to be sort of competitive this year, so I picked them to win this game. Wouldn't be surprised if Jaguars get the win. They at home. Of course, they in Florida as well, so this is their first home game after the hurricane as well. So, sort of tough game for me, but I think the Titans going to pull it out. They got the better quarterback, and the team just overall just a little bit better than the Jags, so I think they eased one out and went on the road. Cardinals, Colts. Cardinals win this game. Colts just looked terrible last week. Like I said, I think they were one of the worst teams in the league in my opinion. That's all I gotta say about that game. It's too bad for David Johnson. He's out from pretty much half the season. But I think the Cardinals still have enough to beat the Colts. One of my big games of the week, Eagles at Chiefs. Chiefs are 5-point favorite, 5.5-point favorite at home. I think they're going to do just enough to beat Philadelphia. Philadelphia, another up-and-coming team. I like what they're doing on both sides of the ball, getting young with Carson Wentz. Andy Reid going against his old team. I think this is the first time. I might be wrong. But I think this is the first time he's going against the Eagles since he last coached them. So a lot of storylines in this game as well. Chiefs offense looked sharp last week. I think Alex Smith probably he's probably going to be an MVP conversation this year. The way he looked last week. Basically, they said he's motivated because of the rookie that's behind him, Mahomes, behind him, pushing him, knowing that he could lose his job at any moment. Kareem Hunt blew up the spot last week in New England. Tyreek Hill, of course, dynamic, deep threat. Chiefs are always tough to beat at home. That crowd, it's a college atmosphere. I think it'd be too much for the Eagles to overcome. I think Kansas City will win this game. As far as the points, that's probably a perfect 5.5, because I think the Chiefs could win by 6 or more. So I don't think that's ridiculous at all. Moving on, another big game this week: Minnesota Vikings and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, Steelers, a lot of people was on. They'll hopefully maybe challenge New England this year. They 5.5 favorites as well at home. Pittsburgh is a different team at home. They looked sort of shaky last week against the Browns. I still got them number 2 in my power rankings. I still think they're a football team. Antonio Brown is just consistent. All around receiver. I think he get the end zone this week. Vikings got some concerns about Sam Bradford, so that's another reason why I feel comfortable picking Pittsburgh to win this game. Minnesota defense, though, not to be played with, but I think the Steelers going to break them down. Most likely, I think I heard enough of that he's not going to start, so I think Bradford's going to play, but he might be a little bit limited. Stephon Diggs surprised me last week. It stabbed me in my side a little bit. I almost lost my fantasy game because of what he did last week. I was going against him in fantasy last week. But I think Pittsburgh, they're at home. They're pretty much better team at home. Sort of like how Kansas City is. They crowd, they fans are into the game. I think that'll be the difference. I think they beat Minnesota at home. Patriots Saints, of course, you know what happened to New England last Thursday night. The Thursday night before, I guess, the opening game of the season, as the Chiefs shocked them. New Orleans pretty much got dominated by Minnesota, team I just brought up. A lot of people said it's a must-win for the Patriots. I don't think so. Their division is so bad. I want to see how Miami look this week. This is Miami's first game, but there's nobody in that division that's going to win more than 7 games probably. So I think New England's going to do enough. So if they go 0-2 this season, definitely not over there. Definitely still win this division. Probably won't have the number 1 seed, which might be a factor in the playoffs, but they're going to win this division, even if they lose this game. But I don't see them losing this game. Saints defense is mediocre. They Brady going to bounce back. I have a monster game. They're going to run the ball a little bit more as well. Saints got some issues with Adrian Peterson. Not getting enough touches and stuff, so we'll see how that works out. But the Saints just don't have a defense to complement their offense. I think the Patriots are going to exploit it. They do have some big injuries. Amendola and Dante Hightower not going to play. They already been ruled out, so that'll be a factor. But I think New England still have enough to win this game. I think it'll be probably close. Probably be somewhat of a shootout, though. I think New England wins. Jets and Raiders. Raiders, not too much to say more about that. I think they're going to force some turnovers and pretty much a blowout. I think this could be a blowout. Actually, this would be my lock of the week, my solid lock of the week. Raiders over the Jets. Don't think this game going to be close at all. Dolphins Chargers. Got the Chargers winning at home. It's Miami's first game. I think they're going to still be a little bit affected by the storm and things of that nature. They ain't been home in 2 weeks. I think that's going to be a factor. I think the Chargers are going to do enough to beat them at home. Probably be close, but I think the Chargers will pull that out. Cowboys and Broncos. One of my big games here. Cowboys 2 points, 2.5 favorites. I can see this game pretty much going either way. I got Dallas winning just because they got the better quarterback. They're still playing. I think they're going to run the ball down Denver's throat. So to get their defense off kilter, make enough plays, and win the game. I like Trevor Siemian, though. I don't think he's a scrub. I like him. He's a decent quarterback. Hopefully they can get some big plays. I think they need to try to get the running game going, though, a little bit more. If Denver can force some turnovers, they can win this game down home. Another tough place to play. The altitude, of course, in Denver, as we know about. But I think Dallas going to do just enough to win this game. This will probably be one of the closer games of the week and one of the exciting games of the week. Got Dallas winning, though, in a close one. Washington at LA Rams. I got the Rams winning. Rams defense looked sharp last week, even though it was against the Colts, against Scott Tolzien. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith. I like what he says, Scott Tolzien, but he looked terrible. Kirk Cousins, I just think he don't have enough weapons around. I think it's just Jordan Reed really, and that's it. I think the Rams will be able to key on that. Aaron Donald's back. I think he should probably play. He came back last week. I think they're going to force turnovers. Goff didn't look too bad. Redskins, I would say the Redskins defense is a little bit better than the Colts, but I think he's probably going to still have a decent game. I like Todd Gurley. I think he'll probably have a good game this week. Being at home, I think the Rams win. Seahawks 49ers, I heard this line was 14.5. Just how the way the Seahawks offense look, it's hard for me to. I would definitely take the points on that, take the risk on that. It's possible they probably could win by 2 touchdowns. I just don't think so. I think it'll be closer than that, but I still think they'll win this game. They're at home. They're a different team at home as well, just like Pittsburgh, Kansas City. Very, very good home crowd. 49ers ain't gonna have enough. I think they gonna force Hoyer, try to throw a couple of picks. It's possible they can win about 14, but I just think the offense, until I see it, offense looked bad. The offensive line looked so bad against Green Bay last week. I don't see them scoring a lot of points, but I still think they'll do enough to beat San Francisco at home. To me, this is the biggest game of the weekend easily. Green Bay at Atlanta. Tough game to pick. Atlanta opening up their home stadium. Sorry, Chick-fil-A people. It's Sunday, so you can't get no Chick-fil-A during the game, which has been a joke throughout the week. There's a Chick-fil-A inside the stadium. Supposed to be a beautiful stadium. I got Green Bay winning, and part of it, I ain't gonna lie, because I picked them to go to the Super Bowl and get the number 1 seed. So I think this game will go a long way for them doing that. I think Aaron Rodgers, I really think quietly Aaron Rodgers is focused. I think he's tired of hearing people say, well, he ain't won a Super Bowl since 2010, blah, blah, blah. I think he's really motivated. Their offense, to me, looked good against Seattle. Atlanta defense ain't as good as Seattle, so they run sort of probably the same system. Because Dan Quinn is from the Pete Carroll tree. A lot of people still think Atlanta offense, they look kind of shaky, but they're a different team at home as well. I think they're going to open the offense up a little more. I hope Devontae Freeman give me some more points. They gave me a lot last week, so fantasy-wise, I hope he have a good game. But I think Green Bay going to beat him. Even though the Seattle offensive line made Green Bay defense probably look sharp, but still, the secondary looked better to me as well. I think Green Bay go in there and win. I think it'll be close, probably down to 1 possession. I think it'll be somewhat of a shootout, probably in the high 20s, low 30s. I got Green Bay winning, and I think this would pretty much stamp their approval. I got them number 1 in my power rankings as well. I think Atlanta, is 3rd on my power rankings. So this is a big game to go far away in the NFC playoffs. But I got Green Bay winning on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. And the Monday night game, the Detroit Lions at the New York Giants. Oh, by the way, Falcons is 3-point favorites in that game. I think it'll probably be about that close, whoever wins. Giants are 3 points in this game. They at home. This game was tough for me. I'm gonna go with the Lions. The Giants just don't look good to me right now. Odell, he's been practicing and all that, so he's on road to be playing this week. But that offense just don't look good. It just don't look good, man. Let's see if that defense can shut down the Lions, which is possible. This is a coin flip game, but I just think the Lions just playing a little bit better right now. I think they'll edge one out. Probably make 1 or 2 more big plays against that Giants defense to get enough done on Monday night. I think the Lions win it in a close one. And then I put 24-16 as my score. Of course, the Patriots pick up, you gotta put in a score for a tiebreaker, so that's why I put it in a score. So I think the score will be around that. Could be closer. Lions score could be a little bit lower than that, but I don't see the Giants scoring more than 20 points. They have it in like a year, so So the magic number is 20. If the Lions could get close to 20, I think they'll win the game. And that's what I think they're going to do. So got Detroit winning Monday night. Alright, so that's it for week 2. Just want to say thanks, as always. I love the NFL season. I'm glad it's back. Oh, I'm sorry. I got one more thing to talk about. The big fight tonight. Canelo Alvarez against Triple G, Gani Golovkin. I tried to do as much research as I could on this fight. I'm not a big boxing. I like boxing, but I'm not a huge boxing fan. So I've sort of like, I know certain things, but I don't know everything. So I try to do research on it. Hearing a lot of everybody I've been looking up or reading about, with all the experts, they got pretty much Triple G winning because he's a bigger guy. But if anybody, probably, well, if you're a boxing fan, you definitely know who Telly Atlas is. He works for ESPN. I think I'm gonna go with. I think Canelo's gonna win this fight. I've heard about. I guess I'm gonna just go by what he said. Basically, he said he's a younger guy. He looked at in the weigh-in. He looked bigger, and he's the more pure boxer, and he got power. So they say Golovkin, Triple G, he's just powerful. He gonna knock you out. If he get a good puncher, he's basically gonna put you on the canvas. But Canelo's more of a counter puncher, so I'm gonna go with Canelo to win this fight. I've heard about Canelo for years. I just heard about Triple G in the last year and a half, and maybe because I'm a casual boxing fan, that's probably why. But I think he's what they say he's about 35 years old. Like I said, I never heard of this guy until now. So he is undefeated though. So, but I'm gonna go with Canelo. I think Canelo pulls the upset. I think he wins it. Probably I say it'll go. Say about 8th, 9th round. I think it'd be a TKO. That's my prediction for the fight. Of course, another big fight. This is supposed to be the fight of the year. But all of us gotta admit this: the Mayweather-McGregor fight was way more hype than this one. Even the pay-per-view buys are cheaper, $20 cheaper. I was thinking about buying it, but nah, I'm not gonna buy it. I don't have the money for it. So that's tonight. And I'm just gonna wrap this up. Sorry about my pauses. I'll just be looking at my notes. We try not to stumble so much. College football, a couple of big games, 2 in particular. USC hosted Texas. Of course, that's the rematch of the epic game about 11 years ago, the Rose Bowl. Vince Young game when he ran all over USC. Of course, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart. That was an excellent football game. I didn't see it. I was working at the time in the evening, so I caught the last 2 minutes of the game. But it was an epic game, so that's the rematch of that. And also Louisville Clemson. That's a huge game in the ACC and in the college football playoff. I got a feeling Louisville might do it. I think Lamar Jackson is the better player on both teams. I think he's going to rise to the occasion. Probably make one big play at the end and win the game. At least I'll root for him anyway. So that's a lot to check out today. Florida played Tennessee. That's also a big game. The SEC. Pretty much everybody else that's playing this week not playing pretty much cupcakes. But that will do it for this week's show blog. Just want to say thank you guys once again. I appreciate all y'all support. Of course, I'll be back Wednesday. Of course, the Thursday night game this week is the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. So I'll preview that game on Wednesday. So look out for that. I know I just said yesterday I wasn't going to buy live, but I wound up buying it anyway. I didn't have the money, but I went ahead and bought it. So we'll be having some live videos soon. The Retro Series got 3 games going right now. Sonic Mania, Mega Man Legacy Collection Part 2, and also Jack and Daxter The Precursor Legacy. So still be doing videos on those games. A lot of other projects, so just check out my channel. I just hope everybody have a good weekend. I appreciate y'all support. You don't know how much it means to me. It means a lot. And everybody have a good weekend. I'm Troy West, and thank you. Talk to you guys next time. Enjoy your weekend. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.